Gang,
what's up?
Oh my gosh!
Hello,
we're here.
We're here.
This is crazy. I mean, it's been a couple weeks, right? Been a bit. You guys are all chatting already.
So
come on,
trying to.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the Facebook chat and I said hi, and thing pops up. Send 200 stars to pin your comment here.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, we can take stars now. So do it. Send the money.
Send us money.
We need the studio needs money. Hear the producer in the back? Producer wants money.
200 stars and
Amanda will do a shot.
I'll take my shirt off.
Whoa!
But you don't know what's on under this, so be careful.
All right.
Do we have a longboard here?
Oh no, yeah, because you would
Hi,
get
Peanut
spanked again.
Gallery.
If we get 200 stars, I'll let Amanda hit me with a longboard if we have one here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's his birthday anyway, so
I mean,
happy birthday,
abuse,
Mike.
Okay.
Day to you.
Oh God.
No. You got to do the dirge. Happy
Charles.
birthday. May the candles on your cake burn like cities in your wake. Happy birthday.
And I came bearing gifts.
You did.
No, excuse me.
That's why we're all in our fun mood today. So
if I'm going to drink rum, I'm going to drink good rum.
Yeah.
That's good
Sorry,
stuff,
John,
man. That's
you're
real
not
good
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
I could just open John's, but
you opened the secret stash behind us there. So, but man, so you've got a lot going on for birthday. Well, you did.
This week's been a busy week. So last night I went and saw Blink 182. Picked up a ticket last year when they first went on sale. That sold out in 30 minutes. I luckily got one.
Yay.
So that was last night, and the concert was amazing. The opening bands, Kenny Hoopla, I don't know who he was, and I don't even remember the other band.
Does Ric Flair count as an opening band?
So
Rick, that was really funny when he sent me that video.
Kenny Hoopla was on stage and goes, "Oh, I got to introduce one of my favorite people here tonight," and Ric Flair comes out.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, that's cool.
That's kind of cool.
So because he lives in the condos right across the street now.
Yeah.
Dylan's met him a few times.
Yeah, well, most of the wrestlers are over in Tampa, so I mean, all the big names.
Well, he lived in Carolina still for a long time. Blank always comes out to a different song per venue, and they came out to Ric Flair's music.
Nice.
I'm like, all right, that's cool. They did 28 songs.
Wow,
last
that's
night.
pretty good.
And
good run.
They're still as immature as they were when they were 20 years ago.
Wrong with that. Hey, they're the guys who, the reason we have all this UFO disclosure.
Yes. So, which is funny, Tom, because they have a UFO song they've done, Tom goes, "Oh, I guess we got to play this song. Guys, I'm sorry I was wrong about UFOs." And start playing the music. I'm like, that's funny.
He was wrong about UFOs? He's right. He's spoiler.
He was just making a joke about it.
Yeah. He was the spoiler, man.
But it was good because we know Tom left the band to hunt UFOs.
Yeah.
Then Mark Hoppus, a few years ago, got stage 4 cancer. And he took Tom away, and that's why the band got back together. He beat stage 4 cancer, and they're like,
nice.
Let's get back together.
Yeah, let's get back together and do this. And honestly, his UFO videos that he leaked were the leaks that caused the Navy, the Navy trials and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and because of Tom, I got that shirt.
That's a good one.
That's a great shirt.
Logo bunny and the UFO, had to get
Can't go wrong with that. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And you're what, 26, 27?
Yes, 27.
Oh my gosh, he's a baby.
Yes, I'll stay 27.
Fuck.
For how many times now?
Sorry.
20 years.
Yeah. So 27 for the 20th year now. So yeah, but
actually, it is 20 years now being 27.
Yeah. There you go.
Shit.
So
I feel old.
God. What have you been up to, Amanda?
I think you're saying I'm so old to the wrong two people here.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait a minute.
And he's older than me.
Yeah.
You're not older than me, though.
I am. Like a lot. Like 14 years.
Really? I thought you were like 35.
No, I wish.
Bullshit.
She looks like that. Right?
Bullshit. Wow.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait a minute. So no, don't pull out your driver's license.
I believe
Just don't
you.
show it on camera.
Yeah. But
Where is it? There it is, 81.
So no, I'm older than you.
But he's 47. I was joking about the 27.
He's only 27.
I was joking.
Baby.
That's it.
Forgot how to do math.
That's all good. That's all right. So
Amanda's math is broken.
What have you been up to?
You need more rum.
Yeah,
Amanda's math is broken because it's Tuesday. Tuesday brain is.
So what have you been up to lately?
Just kind of going through my healing program.
Yep.
I binged over the weekend the first 3 episodes. Damn it, Disney. Of
Sorry, Charles goes. She's in my dating range.
Well, there we go.
Wait, Charles.
Are you guys on Match.com or on
Charles-
Tinder?
Charles, what is your age? Because my dating range might not fit yours.
Oh,
Just a question.
there we
I'm
go.
not-
Just
He's 47. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I binge watched the first 3 episodes of Secret Invasion, which happens to be, I left my notes at home and I have like 2 pages of notes for the first 3 episodes, but I left them at home. So I'm going to try to do everything as much as I can from memory tonight.
All right.
57.
Okay.
That's close.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been up to? Aside from us going out to dinner at that awesome place, Sesh.
Yeah, we went to Sesh, which is a super haunted bar in St. Petersburg where the old melting pot used to be. Used to be Weber's Wood World way back. And, it's a haunted bar, so they've embraced it. It's all decorated with Ghostbusters and other fun things. We did that for fun.
Yeah, we did.
And
we have such great pictures from that too. In front of the haunted mirror.
In front of the haunted mirror,
honestly,
yes.
That one, and then like the one that Prue decided to use as her Instagram picture, and then the one of me and her in the street. Like those 3 are my favorite pictures.
Those are some great pictures. So shout out to Prue. Good
we all
friend.
need to go as a team.
Oh, we should all go as a team. Yeah, we should totally. What's funny is Sesh was going to throw away those mirrors that were behind the bar at Melting Pot, but thankfully I talked them in. I was like, hey, these are the haunted mirrors. The bartenders used to see weird shadow people and other things in that, and so they were like, what, really? And that's where they totally changed the theme of the bar to ghost stuff. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, so that's why I was like, oh, they just reopened a few weeks ago, so I'm very happy. And but then other than that, I'm getting up for
John also said we all need to go as a team.
the Great Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference in
When is that?
2 weeks. 2 weeks from Saturday. And there we go, up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We'll be up there with Erie Travels. The podcast will be there. We'll be.
It's a shame that's in 2 weeks and not in September because I will not blast that on a live show. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At least not yet.
But we'll be
really
up there,
I
and
don't
then we're
think I'll
going
be
a couple
going
weeks
up
later going to Dragon Con. But you've got an event this weekend.
So this weekend is actually Florida's largest anime convention, MetroCon, 20-year anniversary this year.
They beat SuperCon now. So SuperCon kind of went tried to be more.
Yeah,
MegaCon
SuperCon's
style.
more pop culture now.
Yeah, but they were the anime con before that.
So MetroCon this weekend. So definitely Friday night, Saturday night, you have the fire show, the theme fire show they're doing.
That's always fun.
Saturdays, Sundays, the human chess match, the raves, Friday, Saturday.
Their chess match is the reason to go to that con because otherwise it's an anime con, so it's a party con. But
it's not party con like Holiday Matsuri is.
No. Yeah.
This is tamed down
not
because
in a
it
hotel.
is.
It's in a
This
convention
is
center, so.
G friendly cosplays and everything. No,
But their chess match is
the
epic.
chess match. They do a really good job every year.
Stunt performers
And,
doing the characters and exactly what you'd want in a fight.
A couple of the guests, like Robbie Damon's going to be there.
Oh, nice.
He was in Final Fantasy 15 Pronto, which is one of my favorite. He's also in Critical Role.
No.
Then another awesome guest I know is Rico, which is from My Hero Academia.
Okay.
And second year for MetroCon, I think, for him. He's been to Holiday Matsuri a couple years too. Super
He was at
nice
MegaCon
guy.
last year, so yeah.
Super nice. He's so funny, down to earth. He'll sit there, talk to everybody.
A lot of great voice actors.
Yeah.
So the Metro is known
The
for
main voice
actors.
actor list is from Spy Family.
Oh, okay.
That's the main. Everybody's on there.
Yeah, that was when we did the St. Pete one, the St. Pete Sunshine Scare. It was all the Tokyo Ghoul voice actors. So it was a lot of anime horror voice actors. So
the Spy Family is a really big anime. I still have not watched it. I'm so behind on my anime. I'm a bad anime.
It's all good. I'm still catching up on Lupin. I haven't even watched Lupin season 5, series 5, and that's like 20 years old now. I'm terrible. So.
But yeah, if you're going to be in Tampa, definitely check out MetroCon for a day or two. Hit me up. I'll be there with my camera all weekend.
All right. So if you got a cosplay in Tampa Bay, message them. And
we have open slots all 3 days still.
Awesome. And if you're up at the Great Bigfoot Conference up in Gatlinburg, come visit me. I don't know what booth I'm in, but it's
just don't hunt me when I'm up there.
I mean, I feel like I keep forgetting that Tampa Bay Comic Con is the end of this month.
End of the month.
And
a few weeks later.
What I really keep forgetting is that I'm on a panel with like everybody else. I think it's at like 1:00 or something on Saturday, but I keep forgetting that I'm going to be there all day. Like we had this conversation earlier, and I'm like, I just keep forgetting.
Yeah, because it's not like you have a booth there, but you're going to be with.
I don't have a table there, and I'm not going, for like all of Saturday to help out Maria because Maria's on the same damn panel anyway.
Maria DeVivo, great author, and her new book is out there. That'll be awesome. So,
the Silver
Circle, Witch of the Circle or something.
No, Curse of the Silver Locust.
Sorry, Maria.
Sorry, Maria. I can't remember the title of your book.
No, we love you. We love you. Maria,
beat me for it, please.
But but no, we're doing a choose your own adventure panel.
Yes, I'm so excited for it.
A bunch of authors. We're going to derail ourselves and try to go on an adventure. So it's almost like an improv panel.
My friend's not vending this year.
The one at MegaCon, I got killed by Joe Davison pretty quick. So it was pretty good. So and then I spent the rest of the panel trying to kill everybody else.
I'm going to run around stabbing people, so it's going to be fine.
That'll be fun.
I mean, okay. Verbally on the panel in the story, but not actually stabbing people. And I think I'll wear my Killer Mood shirt. I just can't decide if I want to wear this one or the black one.
Which is available on your website?
Hot. It is available on my website, both colors, as well as the shirt that I normally wear that says I like serial killers, cats, wine, and maybe 3 people. Those are all available on my website.
AmandaBird.com. So there we go. All right, so all the shopping, so all that's out of the way now.
Yes.
So let's get to topics. Thank you, gang, for putting up with all of our fun. So it's I have, so we got Tampa Bay Comic Con coming up, but the big thing for me is I'm moving at the first of next month.
I'm sad.
But what sucks is the week I'm moving, 2 of the biggest role-playing games in the last 10 years are coming out on that exact week, let alone day, because some have early access and all that for pre-orders. So, and I, of course, am speaking of Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield.
Starfield looks great.
And now I love that there's already the fanboy rivalry going on between these 2 great games. I'm of the old Road to El Dorado. Why not both?
Yeah.
Both's good. Both's good.
That's like everybody's trying.
Here's Baldur's Gate. And this
is this online too?
This is a co-op online. It's not an MMO, but you can play as
so you
co-op
just need
characters.
a pair of headphones.
Yeah, and you can make a party and venture forth just like the original Baldur's Gates 1 and 2.
So is it going to be cross play?
That I haven't heard yet. I would assume not, because that's part of the thing.
So what are you playing it on?
Well, I'll be playing it on PC because I've played the first 2 Baldur's Gate on PC. But look at these romance options. So many different ranges, shapes, colors, all the colors of the rainbow. I like that they're doing some Austin Powers. Oh,
I love that squirrel.
Yes. And but then we get some villains.
And of course the villains. How can you not like the villains?
And then the Throne of Baal, which goes back to the first 2 Baldur's Gates.
Who says instead of saying, "Oh Lord," she says, "Oh Cthulhu."
Yeah, but now if you go back to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, they are some of the first games I played on PC back. I mean, well, the original games were like the old gold box games and all that, but they've got this long history. BioWare did the first 2. And BioWare has, of course, moved on to Mass Effect and other things. But a lot of old BioWare people left BioWare and helped form Larian Studios. So I'm very excited about that. Now, I loved that they showed on Twitch recently those romance options. And one of the characters is a druid. and he wild shapes into a bear when his romance option starts flirting with him out of panic. And then one of the story options is you can say, hey, no, it's fine. You don't have to change back. And so there is literally a romance scene with a bear and a gay vampire. So I'm
That's interesting.
all the colors of the rainbow, baby. You gotta love it. So, but
I mean, as
what
long as
was
they don't
great.
show the actual.
Well, that's when they cut to the
romance.
squirrel.
Yeah.
That's why the
yeah,
squirrel's like,
it's-
oh my God.
Yeah, that poor squirrel is scarred for life. But what's funny about all that is they did that on a live stream, and they were on Twitch, and they let the audience. They had a full audience pick the options for the conversation
Oh, of
and all
course
that.
the
Okay,
audience
that's
is going to
cool.
pick that.
Now, what was funny was Larian knew immediately that they were going to
Where
let
they
him
were going.
stay the bear and do the sex scene as the bear, which is hysterical. So
That's great.
you gotta love that. But so BioWare / Larian have always been story, character, and we've had early access on Baldur's Gate for I think 2 years now, and so everybody's played that first part over and over, and that was like 20 hours. And they were saying there's 4 parts. So the main game is they expect 100 plus hours to complete. That's just doing
Which is
minimal
good.
side quests. If you do a completionist run, it's going to be over 200 hours. And then it's impossible to do a completionist run one playthrough because if you do get certain
Different.
characters, you can't get other characters.
Yeah.
And it's because it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's based
Yeah.
on the D&D rules. So if you have the chaotic evil character, you can't have the lawful good character.
Can't have your lawful
And that
paladin.
goes back to the original Baldur's Gates. They had
So,
that,
so if you go chaotic evil, you cannot get a Drizzt for shit. Is what
well,
you're saying.
yeah, he's in the game.
He better be.
He's
I
in the
remember
game,
Baldur's
so-
Gate on PlayStation 2. I still have it.
That was the
That you
action
could
Baldur's
beat,
Gate, yeah.
You could beat the game and then play it again with some kind of weird code and play as Drizzt.
Drizzt,
And
yeah.
I'm like, it was the whole reason I bought that game.
Yeah, that was the reason everybody bought that game, and it was done Diablo style and more action or Gauntlet style. These are more, old school Dungeons and Dragons, turn-based combat. You can pause it and figure out your tactics and stuff like that. Roll the dice.
I was gonna say, you get
depending
to
on
roll the
things.
dice, too?
Yeah, the dice rolls, and it can affect things. Like there's a bit with a.
All right, so
and
that's what I'm
early
just
on,
gonna watch other
I
people
failed.
play.
I botched an intelligence check, and I was like, "Oh no!" And then I got eaten by a mind flare. So
I mean,
it was. I'm
I
like,
just
this
want
is.
to DM a game. That's it. I just want to DM a game.
Yeah, well, we'll make that happen. We'll make that happen. So, but anyway, so then the other end of the spectrum is also coming out is Starfield, and Starfield is done by the gang who did Fallout. And Elder Scrolls, so Skyrim and
Bethesda.
Morrowind and all that.
Which we've
So this
talked
is
about
Bethesda.
Skyfield a bit before.
Yes, and so here's Starfield's gameplay, and it is thousands of worlds. So a little bit Mass Effect style. You just go exploring. There is a plot. There are several characters you team up with, and
I want to play it for the glitches because
Yeah.
Bethesda's glitches are everything in life.
yeah, it's so that's part of the fun. People are poking fun at it because they're like, "Oh, it's Bethesda. It's going to be glitchy as hell, and it'll be a year before it's playable." And that's what everybody's been bitching about. Larian for Baldur's Gate because it's been 2 years in early development, but look at all the stuff they've done. So
25 years in the making.
just for this world, they've been literally working on this world since Fallout 2. Before it even became Bethesda.
Fallout 2 is like 25 years
So
old.
Tim Kaine and a couple of the other
Holy crap.
developers. So
Oh, so hey, Charles said like the good old SSI days loved that style of D&D.
yes, the gold box games. Yes, they were amazing. But this looks, it's procedural random worlds with some storylines on. They said maybe 100 of the worlds, but you can customize your ships. You can customize these outposts, and there are 4 romance options where that Baldur's Gate game's got like 17. It's looking pretty amazing. The story looks pretty solid. I like the robots.
So your choice
I like
is
they're calling it
fantasy or
NASA
sci-fi?
and it's
Yeah.
NASA punk in this. So that's kind of your choice, fantasy, sci-fi, but also, are you going to be wanting a Bethesda style open world game with a bit of story, or are you going to want a very heavy story-driven D&D campaign with lots of options and open-ended worlds and stuff? The action on this that's my only complaint. It's typical Fallout where the shooter action looks a little wonky. So, but the space combat looks amazing.
I don't know. It looks a lot. It's eerily a cross of like Fallout and Call of Duty, which is kind of meh.
Yeah, and now here's the thing. Starfield is an Xbox exclusive now, thanks to Microsoft buying the parent company for Bethesda. They bought the company because they didn't want this or the next Skyrim or the next Elder Scrolls to be PlayStation exclusive because it looked like Bethesda was going to do that. And instead...
Oh, they can't even... Never mind.
Yeah, instead, they bought the big company so that they could get this game. And then Baldur's Gate announces PlayStation exclusivity for the first 3 months. So it's...
So the PlayStation one comes out in a couple weeks.
Right. So it's one of those, which one's going to do well? So immediately the Sony fanboys are like, oh, we're going to, Baldur's Gate's going to eat Starfield's lunch. Baldur's Gate looks so much better. Starfield looks garbage. Starfield can only run in 30 frames per second on the Xbox.
The thing is, with Xbox, Microsoft, it's also PC.
Yeah, well, they're all PC.
Yeah,
that's the
PC
thing. If you're PC, it doesn't matter. You can be either one. But what's funny about the fanboys fighting back against Sony were like, Baldur's Gate is meant for PC. It's not meant for console. It's going to have weird issues on the console. And so we'll see how it goes. I think they're both going to be amazing. And I think I will eventually play them both. But I owe my loyalty to Baldur's Gate. Once I found out Minsk, which is a character from the first two Baldur's Gate, is going to be in this one.
Nice.
If Minsk and Boo are in it, I have to play.
Yeah.
I have to play it. So
yes.
Although
Minsk and Boo are in Neverwinter, or at least they were.
Yeah, they are. They still are.
You had to hear me making all kinds, and we're playing in a party, and I had Harvey sitting next to me on the couch, and I'm on the other side of the couch. We got two separate TVs, two separate Xboxes. Like, we're going to town in this party. And when I saw Minsk and Boo and the noises I was making, the cats ran for cover. All of our friends are like, okay, seriously, get the F off the mic because you're going to make us deaf. Like, I was squealing so loud and so much. They're like, seriously, why are you so excited? It's just some dude and a space hamster. And I said, first of all...
It's a miniature
like,
giant space hamster.
Right. And they're like, oh, shit, she just went, first of all, we're in trouble. And I'm like, y'all don't know the backstory of this whole world, let alone these characters. And it's a giant space hamster. And they're like, okay, you need to... Nope, not calming down. Nope. Mm-mm.
That was the one thing, Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, you always took Minsk in your party and you never complained that one of his inventory slots was the hamster. That you couldn't
never. You can't. It's the cutest freaking hamster ever. Also, Charles said he wants to romance a boss.
Oh, well, there you go. That may be an option.
Why
you never know.
Picture him doing that.
Put all your dump points into charisma. And romance everything. That would be the way to do it. Bard life, baby. Bard life. But speaking of Critical Role, that's the voice of Minsk in Baldur's Gate 3 is not Jim Cummings, who had done him for years, because Jim's retired, mostly because he kind of got canceled. But
just a little.
Yeah, so that's why he's not doing Darkwing Duck, and that's why he's not doing Winnie the Pooh anymore. But he will be at Tampa Bay Comic Con. Yeah. So, I'm going to get him to sign a ball.
Moff Gideon.
Oh yeah, Giancarlo Esposito will be at Tampa Bay Comic Con. So
yeah, I'm really excited.
But I'm gonna
Corey Feldman.
But I'm gonna definitely get him to sign a Minsk thing for me. But the guy who's doing him now in the new game is Matt Mercer.
Nice.
So Minsk and Boo stand ready.
I could see Matt doing it.
It's so funny too because Minsk sounds so Russian. It's like, and what kills me is if you've ever heard any of the Monster Hunter series books, like particularly the first two-ish audiobooks, Oliver Wyman was definitely just getting his feet under him with that series. And by the end of the first book, I was like, if this dude doesn't stop making every single person, including Franks, not like I can understand with the orcs, but you want to give Frank's, of all characters, a Russian accent, we're going to have a damn problem. Especially because I've read the entire series before I started listening to the audiobooks. So I already knew what Frank's was, where he came from, all of that. And I'm like, he ain't Russian.
For viewers, that's not Monster Hunter the game. That's Monster Hunter the book series
by Larry Correia.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, no. So that's the big thing is, which do you play? Which is your favorite style? The Baldur's Gate 2 is probably, in my opinion, the greatest role playing game ever made for console or for PC. It wasn't on console, but I guess it's on console now.
I would play both.
They made an anniversary edition a few years ago where they updated it and added in some lost content and all that. So if you ever get a chance to play that, Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced, it's amazing. You don't have to have played the first one, although the first one's great too.
I need to get back on that.
But then definitely, if you don't want to play the third one, play those two. But now, that said, Mike, you have a different role-playing game that you want to talk about. The series that tries to steal the thunder.
First, okay, got it.
So, Final Fantasy. Do you know where the name came from?
What, the name Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the fact that they were about to go out of business.
Yep.
And so they made a game for NES.
They were actually called Fighting Fantasy. And because
they were being sued by Steve Jackson because he had the Fighting Fantasy book series from the US. That's the guy who made GURPS and all this, but he also had made a series of books called Fighting Fantasy. And so he was suing them about that, but they were in Japan, and Japan has a lot different laws about copying names and copying.
And this was Squaresoft's last hope to survive as a video game company, and they released the first Final Fantasy game. So I'm going to go over a little bit of trivia here. Opening song for Final Fantasy VIII was used in the 2004 Swimming Olympics.
Yep.
There's only 2 characters that have appeared in every game except Final Fantasy Origins.
Biggs and Wedge?
No.
Oh, okay, because I know they stole a lot of Star Wars names for that.
One character and one character named Sid. The name Sid has been in every game, and the Chocobo.
The Chocobos weren't in
Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they weren't in the Final Fantasy movie.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
In Final Fantasy VIII, the parade dance was Thriller, Michael Jackson dance.
Yep.
So just a little weird trivia there from Final Fantasy. But the first Final Fantasy, if we can throw up some images now, came out on the NES in 1987, and it made $71,232,200.
Which saved the company.
Yeah.
That's a lot of friggin' money in 1987.
Yeah. And great game. Then you had the first sequel, which none of the games really...
They weren't sequels. The stories don't... Because they were following... But Phantasy Star, which was the Sega version of this, they did follow the storylines, but they were hundreds of years apart. So it was basically you didn't have to play the old ones.
There was only a couple times they did sequels for like X and X2. Yeah. 7 had their spin-off sequels, but we don't talk about those.
I think 7 was the last Final Fantasy that I actually played.
7 was the one everybody played because it was the Sony one.
I think,
And then I went, obviously into Kingdom Hearts, which is another reason I need to get my friggin' Xbox Live
That ties into all this.
I need the Game Pass version back so that I can download. See, this is why I never wanted Game Pass, and I prefer the physical games because then I never lose them. Yep. But I lost my Game Pass because Harvey and I, whatever.
Yeah.
But my Xbox was his home Xbox, so that we could both play online games together. So now I've lost like damn near everything, and I'm like, there's only a few things I actually care about getting back. Fallout 4, along with my mods, because I don't even have my mods list anymore.
That's the one thing on Starfield. I gotta wait for all the mods before I play Starfield anyway.
Yeah, I can't play Fallout 4 vanilla. Well, no.
It wasn't very good when it came out either. So
also, I need a mod where
I was like trying to play Fallout 76 when it came out.
76
ridiculous.
is still bad. I don't play it anymore.
At least the single player was better, but they took forever to add it.
Yeah. So
sorry, we're talking about good games. You keep talking about these terrible Final Fantasies.
Kingdom Hearts.
We'll get to that.
Chrono Cross.
In 1988 was Final Fantasy II at $56 million. Then we can just start scrolling to 1990 was Final Fantasy III.
Yep.
Then 4 was 91. Then it took quite a few
4 was
years.
actually pretty fun. I do remember 4 being fondly.
Then let's find 5 was 92. Then 6 was.
I do not remember 5 at all.
Yeah, that's a really
Yeah, I don't
cute-
remember.
it's a really
Was
cute
that was
cover.
that the one that only came out in Japan for a little
think
while?
so.
Yeah, that's why
Which
it took
now-
forever before it came out in the US.
If you go to Play Asia's website, you can buy Final Fantasy 1 through 6 for your Switch.
Oh, okay.
They have a whole
that's
collection
cool.
of them. What number are we on?
5.
5. So 6 came out in 94.
Yeah, I remember that was a late transition to
That
PlayStation.
is some really cool art.
But the biggest one was
7.
Final Fantasy 7
Which
in
is
1996.
all they've made ever since is
Yeah.
remakes of 7.
And 7 was so good. I remember buying that, and it was on 4-disc
Yep.
when it came out.
When it came out,
Yeah.
Having to switch.
I
to
remember that was a big deal, and that was just it. That came out the same year Baldur's Gate 2 came out on PC, and I was like, people were playing this, going, "This is the greatest story of all time," and I'm playing this game that's 200 plus hours, and they're beating Final Fantasy 7 in like 10 hours, and I'm like,
I don't know how the
Yeah,
hell they beat it that quick. It took me like over 100 to get
yeah, I know,
to
but it was but Baldur's Gate was hundreds of hours easy.
I don't think I
so.
ever beat it.
Yeah,
And,
it's-
and Minsk was a much better character in Cloud. All right, go ahead.
Cloud was kind of.
I'll be quiet now. Continue your Final Fantasy diatribe, Mike.
So 7 was 2007.
It's your birthday, we'll let you
Then
go.
we can just skip and just show the images for the rest, because the rest.
and the
were
rest.
decent.
Yeah.
9 was good. 10 was fun. Final Fantasy X was a decent game.
And then
Oh.
X2, yeah.
A lot of cosplays came from that,
that what I
one.
played?
Then X2, yeah.
X2 was more like an action game with role playing elements, if I recall.
I'm
So
pretty sure it was 7.
11 was 11 online. Yeah, 11 was
The first one they did online.
and that was to respond to Phantasy Star Online and
Yeah.
Ultima Online and Warhammer and Warcraft and all that.
Which
I
the
don't even
first
remember
online didn't
this
do
one.
as good.
What was that one for? Was
I-
that PS3?
I never played
I think
that
it was.
one.
I think it was PS3.
I quit playing them after a while. I just got burnt out on the whole
Those
role-playing
swords are
thing
cool.
Yeah.
until once we get to
I remember that one. That was the one where it's like the tutorial was like 20 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a
What?
day. The game got awesome after that, but it was a day just to get through the tutorial.
See, that would
I'm like,
stop me from playing.
I was a dad.
then
you know.
Final Fantasy 14, which is still huge online right now. It's actually beating WoW.
Yeah, it's
for
got more
online.
players still. Yeah.
Charles said happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Charles. So
And then the best one, still my favorite, is 15.
15. That was the one with the
Because one
car.
with the
and-
boys.
Yeah,
the
the
boys
boys.
squad, bachelor party, the whole opening scene where they're all in the car and it's playing the Stand By Me song, the remaster.
And they took a little bit from Shadow of the Colossus for some
Yeah.
of the boss fights in that, which was pretty good. So
And that one was a little different. You controlled your main character, and you couldn't switch between other characters in the games, because normally all the other games, you get to pick who you want in your team. You can trade them out. This one's like, no, you're going to have the core boys.
And
you play as him, but you have them. Then we have the new one, which is totally different, 16. Dylan's playing it, and you play as the main character. You don't get to swap any characters out. They jump on your team for a little while, like Sid will join you for a little while, leave, someone else will join you, and leave. But the graphics are amazing. If we can go ahead and play that trailer.
And this one, so tell me, this one is they've got, again, they went heavy on the cutscenes, heavy on the
it's
action.
very, very cutscene heavy for this.
Yeah, for that series. I still think they screwed up by calling themselves, when they merged with Enix, they should have just called themselves Squeenix. It would have been so much better than Square Enix.
Charles also said Wizardry is better than Final Fantasy.
I agree with you there, Charles. Wizardry is one of my old
Playing
classics.
so nobody can hear us.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, they're on.
Yeah, this is the one we're on, right? Yeah, this is the one we're talking. Yeah, that's I thought, because this is
I don't know, 'cause
Japanese.
the last one,
Amanda.
the last one you sent us that message that I was really
Oh,
slow about.
Well, now we're here, so
The
we're
boss
catching on.
fights
what
in
was
this are
that?
amazing.
I
That's-
want to take it home. Is that
Yeah.
Nate Fillion?
No, it should be Nathan Fillion.
Looked
though,
like
and
him.
That's, that, you
So
know,
the
that-
voice of Sid in this was in the original TV show The Office,
oh,
the
okay.
England one. He's done a lot of other stuff as well too.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I the Final Fantasy series, the JRPGs, I preferred Lunar.
Yeah.
I thought the Lunar series was great, even though they only did the two. And then Skies of
That's your little
Arcadia.
brother.
was incredible, and Grandia. I like the Sega ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I was a Sega fanboy, but
I
I
like
did.
Secret of Mana. That
Secret
whole
of Mana was good.
series.
Secret of Mana was good. So
Secret of Mana, you got
I just thought the
save,
Sega RPGs were better. You know?
Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Phantasy Star series, I just got hooked on because that was the one where you could get married.
Yeah.
And then you could have kids, and then you could marry different people. And so and then would cut to the next generation. So you had a lot of replay because you could suddenly have a different generation characters and stuff.
So what's interesting about this, the past games where you can summon up the spells and have everything, you really don't get a huge spell list. After you defeat a certain boss, you get their powers. Like in the beginning, he has the power of the Phoenix.
Okay.
Then you can get a wind power and so on.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of cool. So instead of the summons, you're getting their powers. Okay. No, the Final
Sid,
Fantasy series, I think, was just, I still think it's a bit overrated for storyline. I prefer my deep RPGs. Like Wizardry, he was just saying, that was a classic. That reminds me of the original Bard's Tale games where story, you had to make your own story basically on those.
I sat and watched Dylan play for a little bit, but I want to play it, so I don't want to get spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Because he's already ruined a couple things for me, so a lot of times I'll just go in my room. But Square in... I thought I had it right here.
Squeenix now.
Squeenix. Call it Squeenix,
start calling
baby.
it Squeenix.
That's the way it should have
It
been.
was what, early 2000s, I believe. I can't find it now. Is when Square was having issues money-wise.
Yeah.
Because they were 1983 to 2003, and Enix was 75 to 2003.
And now Enix had done the Dragon Quest series, and
Yes.
or Dragon Warrior in the U.S. And then they got big with the Dragon Ball Z guy to do the art for that series. So the JRPGs are fun, but give me the Western.
Yeah.
Give me the Eastern RPGs or Western RPGs. I don't know which is East, which is West. It depends on where you're at in the U.S.
But then you had after the merger in 2003, you got Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts was so much fun. At least the first one was, because you had the whole Final Fantasy mixed with Disney
and all that. It was
The first one was great. The second one was okay. The third one is where I left off when I lost my Game Pass.
Oh no!
So yeah, I'm gonna have to get another one of those.
Yeah.
So we've got some comments here on Facebook.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
So Daquan came in and said, I came because Final Fantasy. I need more Final Fantasy. Charles has a problem with the fact that there was a bottle in front of my shirt, so he was pretending that it says kitty mood instead of killer mood. So I
shifted the bottle. So good.
And then Daquan said, Final Fantasy 6 through 8 is gold. Secret of Mana is incredible. John said he has wind power, which of course is hilarious. And then Daquan said, low key, the Final Fantasy 16 trailer is nice. The gameplay is a little lacking.
That's what I agreed.
Farting doesn't count as wind power.
No. Well,
so the gameplay, I do agree with that because it plays more like a Dark Souls type game,
which is not
than
what
a normal
Final Fantasy is.
Because I always enjoyed the role playing type. Yeah, Final Fantasy 15 was different because you got to run around, use your powers, but you could cast spells. You could do that. Yeah. This one's just hack and slash. Oh, you got parry, you got dodge. It's just not as fun.
So Amanda, you said you've been watching Secret Invasion.
Yes.
So what are your opinions?
I was waiting to binge like the whole season.
Well, yeah, we still got a couple more weeks.
We have a 3-episode rule, so I was like, oh heck yes, I am. And of course, I left my notes at home, which I know I talked about that earlier, but I'm really upset with myself for leaving my notes.
That's all good.
So first,
off the top of your head.
Yeah. First things first, Gravik, be still my heart.
Oh, I'm all for Emilia Clarke. So
he's hot and he's a villain. Yeah. Emilia Clarke's in it.
Is adorable.
And she is just so cute. I didn't realize how short she was.
Oh yeah, that's always been the thing.
I was like, in Game of Thrones, she always looked pretty tall, right?
Well, with Khal Drogo.
Right. I mean, next to him, she looked really like.
And that was the whole point.
I would look the same thing next to him.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it was just her, she always looked taller.
Well,
so I'm like, okay, so she's like 5'7". No, she's like 5 foot.
5 foot.
She's littler than me, which is awesome. I think she's so cute.
Short girls
Ben Mendelsohn, fantastic in it as Talos.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Talos. I have so many notes about Talos. Because at first I'm like, what's happening here? Mm-hmm. And then one person's calling him Talos, somebody else is calling him Talos. Yeah. So I waited to reserve judgment until he said his own name. And then I was like, okay, it's Talos. I'm good.
Yeah, Talos. Yeah.
Because Samuel L. Jackson and I just...
I know. You have things about Samuel.
Yeah, no one else heard me growl, I don't think. So...
Can we clip that?
How about I just record a growl?
Yeah, there we go. So we just throw that into episodes when you're not here.
Yeah.
So anytime somebody mentions Samuel L., we'll just go.
Samuel L., the newer Star Wars garbage, you know.
Yeah, anything like that. So
But yeah, so like the whole cast is great.
stellar.
So we have a 3-episode rule. Does that mean I can
you
give
can talk about the
spoilers
3
on the end
episodes.
of
We can talk.
episode
So
1?
for those of you who haven't watched, Secret Invasion and don't want any spoilers for the first 3 episodes,
turn away now.
Just turn off now, and we'll see you next time. So, but John will kill me for saying that, but it is.
John
go
says
ahead.
he doesn't think he trusts Talos. I'm not really sure
I
I,
don't
do
trust
yet.
Nick
That's the whole
Fury.
point of Secret Invasion.
I don't trust
You don't
Nick
know who
Fury.
to trust.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where after we learned what we learned at the end of episode 1, beginning of episode 2, which I'll get to in a second, I don't know that I trust him either.
I have a
so-
character that I am not trusting, but it's based on a very weird thing. So I'll talk about that in a minute.
So at the end of episode 1, we've got Gravik blowing up the bombs in Russia, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I
And the
damn
death
near
of a
yelled.
major Marvel character.
Dude, I cried, but before that, I yelled. I absolutely yelled, and I scared the shit out of my cat. And I was like, I did not see that coming. How did I not see that coming? This is literally kind of like what I do.
Yeah, it was
like what
odd because
what I
they were
do.
billing her as like being one of the major parts of the show, and then they kill her at the end of the first episode.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the
the whole bomb.
bombing itself.
Okay.
And then when Gravik shifted into Nick Fury and killed
What?
Hill.
Oh yeah. Let's watch the trailer before we go any further.
John said you're born.
For years, you've been avoiding Earth. I have called for your help plenty of other times, and you've been pretty content to let those calls go straight to voicemail.
Yeah, well, this is different. How much do you know about your security detail?
What do you mean, how much do I know about him?
Fury? We gotta be very careful now.
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us.
This is just the beginning.
This is my war alone. And I'm the last person standing between them and what they really want. And what is that?
Charles asked what my issue with Samuel L. Jackson is.
Oh,
So we're gonna
let's table that.
we'll table that. We can have a private conversation about
Yeah,
that, me
Phil,
and you, Charles.
later,
like,
Charles.
Not here.
Later, Charles.
No
It's-
sound.
we're not allowed to talk religion or politics when John's not here. So,
Charles, can you hear me?
oh, are we at work?
Okay.
right.
I'm just making sure because he said no sound, and I was like, wait, does
yeah.
that mean you can't hear me?
No, we're good. That was just because of the trailer. So
Yeah, we'll table that.
yeah, we'll
conversation.
table that another time. But anyway, so my theory is one of the main giveaway things of Marvel movies is everybody uses iPhones in the movie except for the bad guys. And was leaked during when they were filming Civil War that they mentioned some of the characters you could tell who were Hydra because they were using androids. And that's because Apple refuses to let bad guys use iPhones in television or movie productions.
Which makes sense. There's some cars that did that in video games that wouldn't let you ruin them.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So now what's funny is with that, there's one character in this so far that has shown up that is not using an iPhone and has a big scene in it, and that was when Rhodey shows
there's
up.
another character who doesn't have an iPhone, by the way.
And who's that?
Fury's wife.
Fury's wife doesn't have an iPhone. She has an Android too.
She's got that weird flip phone thing that Samsung made that breaks the second you look at it.
Yep.
I don't know if they still make it or not. They might have gotten smart.
They were trying to get me to buy that when I upgraded to this, and I was like,
a
no.
friend of mine's daughter went through like 3 of them replaced by insurance because they just kept breaking.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. So I was like, no, thank you. But
So
anyway,
now she's
so
got
she's
like
got
a
one of those.
NS23.
But that was just it. But I noticed Rhodey had one of those, and I was like, wait a second. I don't know if they telegraphed it or if it was.
Rhodey wasn't even Rhodey, but we'll get to that in a minute.
That's I'm thinking he's a Skrull.
He's absolutely a Skrull. Like, I don't see Rhodey being happy to tell Nick Fury, you're fired, GTFO. Like, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Though I'm not going to lie, I'm excited to see a darker side of Rhodey. Because I think
in
that
the
would
comics,
be great.
he goes pretty dark a couple times in the comics. So.
I'm also pro villain, so there's that. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Hail Hydra,
I'm a big fan of villains.
I have a
I
Hydra
also,
uniform shirt. Like
at the end of episode 3, another character dies who I don't think is dead.
We're not going to divulge that. Death.
Yeah, not yet. That's too soon.
So I think did we get cut off on talking about Gravik shifting into Fury and killing Hill? Did we get?
No, we didn't. We got cut off on that. So
yeah, that made me cry. I was very upset about that. And then when we opened up episode 2 and they were on the train, the reason now John said he doesn't trust Talos, and here's why I am inclined to agree with that. And what? I'm gonna talk about that in a second because now I got lots of questions. Don't you start.
Right.
She did not. In episode 1, she did not turn into a Skrull like they do in their shot. So don't start with me, Charles. They were talking on the train and they were playing whatever game it was that Fury and his mom used to play when they were kids. Something about tell me something I don't know.
Yeah, tell me something I don't know. Yeah.
So Talos admitted, after much prying from Nick Fury, I'm surprised he didn't punch him in the face to get him to say it. When Fury was up in space, 1 million Skrull came to Earth because Talos invited them.
Yeah. Now in the comics,
I would have punched him in the throat and then probably poked his eye out with a fork. That's just me.
In the comics, they all come down and they take over the various superheroes.
Like, what did he expect was going to happen?
And they send the
1 million,
superheroes
including
up to
Gravik,
space.
who's got a thing against everybody.
They send the superheroes up to space while they're in like hibernation. They're doing that bit where they're in like the 3 Mile Island or Chernobyl, where they're all, in their Russian zone, and which is actually Georgia, because everything in Marvel Universe is Georgia. But they're all, in these places, and they've got the guys in the, in the machine so that they can stay refreshed with them and all that. I think that's actually something from the comics, and I'm hoping that continues. And I like that they're making Super Skrulls, and they brought up Extremis and some of the old abandoned plot threads of the MCU. So I thought that was actually pretty cool.
So speaking of shifting and death and all that, it actually just brought to my mind killer mood not engaged. But fight me, there's that. Fury in episode 3 was like, because at the end of episode 2, you see that his wife is a Skrull. And I'm like, does he, like, I said out loud, and my cat's like, Mom, STFU. I was like, does he know?
Oh, yeah, because
I start episode 3, and I'm watching the interactions, and, he's putting his wedding band on, he's doing this, he's doing that, and then they're having this conversation, and she answers her stupid Samsung flip phone, and, like, he's talking to her as before she answers the phone, and he's already calling her out, but not calling her out at the same time. Like, basically telling her, I know you're a Skrull without you having to tell me you're a Skrull or admit it.
That flashback scene where he's introduced to Gravik, that she's the Skrull that introduces him to Gravik. and then she turns into the lady. So we
That's
know
what
he
I
knows
thought it
she's a
was.
scroll.
I
So
thought it was
yeah,
that
so
reason.
yeah.
Why does
Yeah.
he even have a wife in this? Because he
That's the
didn't have
question.
it in the
Doesn't have a
comics.
question, you know,
There is
and-
no
They
wife in
needed
the
a reason
comics.
to keep this woman, this Skrull character in the story because for whatever reason she's probably got some level of importance. And here's the thing though, if she was like Gravik's caretaker, if you will, from the very beginning, right? Like when she introduced them in the beginning, now she's under his thumb. What does he have over her?
See, I'm hoping, my big thing from all this is I'm hoping Amelia Clark is actually Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, and that she's in the machine, and that's why she can use her form and all that. So I'm hoping, because why would you put Amelia Clark in a few episodes of a show and then not use
Not
her,
do anything
not
with
do
her.
anything else with her for the Marvel Universe when she's one of the biggest stars around now? So
Well, she did shift too, so
yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm just saying. It could be something else to this. So she could have shifted on purpose.
John said Hill wasn't dead.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think she is.
I think Kobe Smothers came out and said, yeah,
She's dead.
that she enjoyed her time with the character.
I absolutely love her. I had seen, I think I had said to you that she just seems like her actual personality. She seems like she's so much fun.
Yes.
And then I had seen some kind of interview, something or other on IMDb, and she was like, and I was like, oh my God, I love her. She's me.
Yeah, she's a goofball. We love her. I love that she's a fan. She's a fan of Maria Hill. And
Yeah.
And then the new Secret Invasion comic, Maria Hill is a badass because they've done 2 Secret Invasions in the comics. The one big epic one, and then they're doing kind of a small
Dude,
scale
I
one now.
still
so-
want to see Captain Hydra.
Yeah,
I
that would be
want to
nice.
see Captain America go dark.
We had the kind of hint of that in Civil War, so that's but
Dude, there was like fan art made and it's gorgeous. And I'm like, I need to see this in real life. Like,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. Like, even if it's just like a weird one-off series that's like 3 episodes, something or other. Like, I'd be happy with that. I just want to see him in that Hydra uniform instead of not the American flag, because that's not what that is anyway.
It's an interesting. It was an interesting storyline. I remember it caused all kinds of controversy when it came out.
You and
so-
I had talked about it, and you were like, "Yeah, it was in the comics."
Yeah,
Like in the
and
comic
also
books.
it
And I was
was
like, "I want to
not
see
going
it
to
on
happen.
TV."
Yeah, and we also, for anybody who's a comic book reader, you knew Cap was not really a bad
Yeah.
guy, and like when
Right.
Captain America died, we knew he wasn't dead. When now the big thing is Kamala Khan in the comics, they kill her off. Which is weird because right now she's just starting to boom on the TV show and the movies, and they're killing her off in the comics. And then the worst part is they didn't even kill her off in a Ms. Marvel comic. They killed her off in a Spider-Man comic, which was very, very controversial. And but it was also because her comic series had been canceled. So it's very odd. It's a very odd time. But that's what happens in comics. The good guys become bad guys. The bad guys come back and become good guys again. People die and come back. It's what happens. It's been going on since the 60s.
Well, what about the photos that leaked from Deadpool?
Oh, yeah. See,
Yes.
that's pretty epic.
Yes.
So, you
Hugh
know,
Jackman's in the Wolverine, classic
costume.
Wolverine
Yes.
finally. And did you see the photo where they're fighting in front of the Fox Studios?
Fox Studios
Yes.
logo, which is, it's
Okay, that's
just
kind
great.
of funny.
I'm excited for Deadpool 3, of course, because
Yeah.
the first 2 rocked my socks. So
They're great.
And
they-
the people he said is going to be coming back in there.
yeah, pretty much
Deadpool,
everybody.
Elektra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Daredevil,
Yeah.
Electra, Matt Damon. I don't know.
Ben
Affleck
Affleck.
as Daredevil, and
John brought up the country album being played backwards.
oh yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting little tidbit in that. So, but we've got tons of movies to look forward to coming up. What are your big ones that you've got waiting on? I mean, Spider-Verse, Indiana
So
Jones, all
actually,
that
in
just
2
came out.
weeks, Barbie and Oppenheimer.
And Oppenheimer.
A
So
lot of
that's-
people are. The theaters have announced that tons of people have been buying both tickets. To see it same day. Tom Cruise did an interview about it. He goes, "I'm going to watch them both the same day on the opening weekend."
Yeah.
And Oppenheimer looks
I can see
freaking
that.
I
amazing.
have like a week to go see The Blackening before the movie theaters get flooded.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Got it.
But if you're going to watch Oppenheimer, you got to do it in
IMAX.
IMAX. 600-mile reel.
Real for that movie. So
I
which is
still
nuts.
have not even.
Oh yeah,
seen
Mission
any-
Impossible opens tomorrow.
previews.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
Mission Impossible, and then
Does anybody actually care about another Tom Cruise? I mean, Mission Impossible.
it's going to
movie?
be
I
the
like
biggest
it.
movie in forever. And this one's got the perfect reviews so far, which is
And
crazy.
they filmed the big stunt scene with the motorcycle that you see on the trailer.
Yeah.
They filmed that in the very beginning because they said hey, if he dies, then we don't have to do the movie.
We don't have to make the movie.
If he lives, and we'll finish the movie. We trust Tom, and we'll do it. And surprised he lived.
I'm just all excited because we've got What We Do in the Shadows starts back up.
Yeah.
This in a couple weeks, and we've got a couple more weeks after that. The Boys starts up again. So,
yeah.
So I'm
I
very
cannot
excited.
wait for that.
I'm very
Mario
excited for
premieres on Paramount in the beginning of the next month, I
that.
think.
That's already coming out. Yeah,
It's all on DVD and in demand, but you can actually stream it next month for free. Well,
crazy.
$5 for your fee.
But we've got just a little over a minute left, gang. I won't be here for the next few weeks because I'm moving. So I apologize. And I will see you at the Bigfoot conference, next week. And I will see you all at the at other events coming up. I'll see you guys at Tampa Bay Comic Con. So I'll be back there if you want to see me in person. You can listen to the podcast, Eerie Travels. We're on twice a week on all the major podcasting platforms. So
You
just
can hear her podcast too.
you can listen to Amanda's
mine too.
podcast.
I think I've got episode 7 drops tomorrow morning. The Books, Life, and Shenanigans podcast.
That's on all the major streaming
it's
platforms.
everywhere but Apple.
Okay.
Everywhere but Apple because I don't have an Apple device to accept the
Apple
Music terms, which is
She's
fine.
a scroll.
Thanks, Apple, you elitist dicks. Whatever. Everybody else can listen to me.
So the bad guys
everywhere
can listen
else.
to it,
Like-
but the good guys can't. So that's all it is. So
That's exactly my secret plan.
There you go. There we go.
I don't have a podcast, but you can follow me on Twitch and Kick. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm going to start streaming
Kick
on
now.
Kick now at a Monkey Spawn, MUNKY Spawn.
Yeah, that
For
works.
both of those.
That works. And my goodness, gang, it's going to be fun. You guys are going to hold the fort for me while I'm
Yes.
gone.
You can
we're
zoom
gonna
in.
I might zoom in occasionally if I can. So if John and the crew will let me.
Charles said buy that girl an iPhone.
Yeah.
No. Never,
no,
Charles.
No, I am.
Never.
I also am a grognard that do not like the Apple products.
I am Team
PC
Samsung
master
for
race.
life.
iPhone, iPad, iWatch.
No,
I'm
Team
stuck with
Samsung
my
for
iPhone.
life.
But thank you all again so much for joining
You
us.
will have to zoom in because there's a week I'm not going to be here.
SSI
love
Go
you.
Box. We'll see you next time.
Bye.